Good morning, dear students. Students, today we will start another lesson from your textbook Footprints Without Feet, and the name of the lesson is The Hack Driver. Right. So, students, you will have to make attention over whatever the lessons you are getting, right? And after just getting this link through YouTube, you will watch the video again and again and just make the clarification of all the particular points, right? So students, this lesson is all about a young lawyer who comes to a village to serve summons on Oliver Lutkins. A friendly hack driver takes him round the village in search of Lutkins. Does he find him? So who is Lutkins? Means, dear students, this lesson is going to be mysterious, right? Here a young lawyer approached to a village, and for what? To search Oliver Lutkins, right? And did he find that? So let's get started with the lesson, right? After graduating with honors, I became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. I was sent not to prepare legal briefs but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. I had to go to the dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out my victims. Some of the larger and more self-confident ones beat me up. I hated this unpleasant work and side of the city life it revealed to me. Right? I even considered feelings to my hometown where I could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training this period. Right? Now you will have to write the hard meanings from these segments, right? First of all, legal briefs means legal documents. Summons means court orders, and shadowy means dark, right? Here the narrator gives his introduction that after completing his graduation with honors, he got selected for a job of a junior assistant clerk in a very famous law firm. But instead of preparing legal papers like a lawyer, he had to deliver the court's orders to various people whom he referred to as his victims. He said so because in many of the cases he had to face awkward situations where he was beaten up by them. They did so in order to avoid court orders as they had to then comply with them. So the narrator says that he hated this job. He hated it to extent that sometimes thought of running away to his hometown where he could work as a real lawyer and not a mere clerk, right? So means here you can see that he was not satisfied with his job, right? So I rejoiced one day when they sent me out 40 miles in the country to a town called New Mullion to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. We needed this man as a witness in a law case, and he had ignored all our letters. When I got to New Mullion, my eager expectation of sweet and simple country village were severely disappointed. Its streets were rivers of mud with rows of wooden shops either painted a sour brown or bare of any paint at all. The only agreeable part about the place was the delivery man at the station. He was about 40, red-faced, cheerful and thick about the middle. His working clothes were dirty and well worn, and he had a friendly manner. You felt at once that he liked the people. So, you will have to write the meaning. Rejoiced means happiness and witness means observer, right? So, one day the narrator was very happy to know that he had to visit a place which was 40 miles away from the place where he lived. He says that the town which he had to visit was New Mullion. He had to visit this place in order to serve summons to a man named after Oliver Lutkins. And Oliver was a witness in some cases. The firm needed him for the case, but he constantly been neglecting the letters sent by the law firms. Right? When the narrator reached New Mullion, his excitement about visiting a village was washed off because it was not as per his expectation. The streets were dirty, The shops were always very dull. Everything he saw was full of dullness. Right? But then he saw a delivery man who was about 40 years and was very cheerful. Right? I told him to find a man named Oliver Lutkins. Lutkins? I saw him around here about an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch, tough. Always up to something or other. He is probably trying to start up a poker game in the back of Fritz's shop. I will tell you, the boy is there. Any hurt about locating Lutkins? Right. So, poker game means it's a type of card game, you can see. So, it seems narrator that he was very friendly with the other people. This made him like the delivery man, and he referred him as the only person in the village who made him feel nice. The narrator went up to cheerful delivery man and told him that he was searching for a man named Oliver Lutkins. The delivery man quickly repeated the name of the person being searched by the clerk, and he then told him that he had seen Lutkins an hour ago, and he also instructed him to find him as he was always up to something. Then he told him that Lutkins could be found at Fritz's shop where he played a card game, and he also inquired him about the urgency of find Lutkins. So, yes, I want to catch the afternoon train back to the city. I was very important secret about it. I will tell you what, I have got a hack. I will get it out and we can drive around together and find Lutkins. I know most of the places he hangs out. Right. So here hack means a horse drawn by a vehicle. The clerk narrator replied that it was very urgent to find Lutkins as he had to go back to the city by the afternoon train. So the delivery man said that he had a horse cart and he would help him to find Lutkins. He knew all those places where Lutkins spent his free time. He was so open and friendly that I glowed with warmth of his affection. I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. I was glad the fair money would go to this good my fellow. I managed a bargain down $2 an hour, and then brought from his house nearby a short, large black box on a wheel. He remarked, "Well, young man, here's the carriage," and his wide smile made me into an old friend. These villagers are so ready to help a stranger. He had already made it his own task to find Oliver Lutkins for me. He said, "I don't want to interfere, young fellow, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutkins. He never pays anybody a cent. He still owes my 50 cents on a poker game. I was fool enough to play with him. He is not really bad, but it's hard to make him part with his money. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he will be suspicious and get away from you. If you want, I will go into Fritz's and ask for him, and you can keep out of the sight behind me." Right? So, glowed means, first of all, you will write the meaning of glowed, Glowed, impressed. Right? Bargain means to negotiate the price of something. Black box on wheels means horse cart. Right? The clerk was impressed by the friendly and caring behavior of the delivery man. He says that though he knew he was trying to earn some money, but he accepted because he was a very nice man. And it was because his nice and friendly behavior that accepted the offer, but he cracked the deal at $2 per hour. Later on, the delivery man brought his horse and offered him to sit. The clerk thought of the kindness and helpful nature of villagers who helped a stranger and took his problems at his own. Owes means be in a debt. Owes, O-W-E-S. Owes means be in a debt. The delivery man started a conversation with the clerk and inquired if he had to take back his money from Lutkins. He also told him that Lutkins never paid back his debts. He too had to take back 50 cents from him which he had won in poker game. The delivery man regretted being a fool who played with the Lutkins, though he was aware of his nature of non-payment of money. And later on, he suggested that he not to come in front of Lutkins because his fancy clothes could make Lutkins doubt about him and could give him a chance to run away. So he told him to stay behind him at Fritz's shop. Right? I loved him for this. By myself, I might never have found Lutkins with the hack driver's knowing help. I was sure of getting my man. I took him into my confidence and told him that I wanted to serve summons on Lutkins. That the man had refused to be a witness when his information would have quickly settled our case. The driver listened earnestly. At the end, he hit me on the shoulder and laughed. Well, we'll go, brother. Lutkins, a little surprised. Let's start, driver. Most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson, fancy carting and hacking. All right, Bill, shall we proceed to Fritz? Yes, Lutkins is just as likely to be there as anywhere. Plays a lot of poker, he is good at deceiving people. Bill seemed to admire Lutkins' talent for dishonesty. I felt that he had been a policeman. He would have caught Lutkins respectfully and jailed him with regret. Right? So, Bill led me into Fritz. Have you ever seen Lutkins around here today? Write down the meaning. Earnestly means sincerely. Proceed means to begin. Deceive means DECIEVE. Deceive means cheating. Admire means praise, तारीफ करना, appreciate. And regret means REGRET. Regret means to be sorry. As the hack driver was working hard for him, he told the truth behind his search. He told him that Lutkin was a witness in a very important case, but he was not helping them out by giving them the details. The information of Lutkins could help them in solving the cases quickly. The driver heard all this seriously and then hit on the clerk's shoulders and said that they would surprise Lutkins by catching him and fulfilling the clerk's purposes. Most and the start their search for Lutkins. On their way, the hack driver introduced himself as Bill or Magnuson and said that his business was called William Magnuson, fancy carting and hanking. Right? And the clerk replied in a very fondly way that he and Bill will begin their search mission. Bill also told him Lutkins was fond of playing poker and also praised his ability to cheat others. And at the same time, this made the clerk imagine about Bill. He had been a policeman. He would have caught Lutkins in very respectful manner. Not only this, would have felt bad to put the man in jail. Right? And Fritz looked at me, hiding behind Bill. He hesitated and then admitted, yes, he was here in a little while ago. Guess he's gone over Gustav's to get over a safe. Right? So here, Fritz looked at me hiding behind Bill. He hesitated and then admitted he was just here a little ago. Guess he has gone over to Gustav's to get a safe. Right? Well, if he comes, tell him I am looking for him. Right? So here, Bill took the clerks to Fritz's shop and inquired about Oliver Lutkins. He tried to appear natural by saying that his friend had come to meet him. He did this to make Fritz tell the truth about Lutkins. At first, Fritz was confused, but then he said Lutkins was there a few hours ago, but he left for Gustav's shop where he had gone for a shave, दाढ़ी बनाने के लिए. After getting the information, Bill asked Fritz to convey a message to Lutkins that he was looking for him. Now, we drove to Gustav's barber shop. Again, Bill went in first and I lingered at the door. He asked not only the Swede but two customers if they had seen Lutkins. This Swede had not. He said angrily, I haven't seen him, I don't care to. but if you find him, you can just collect the $35 he owes me. One of the customers thought he had seen Lutkins walking down Main Street, the side of the hotel. As we climbed back into the hack, Bill concluded since Lutkins had exhausted the credit at Gustav's, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. At Gray's barber shop, we missed Lutkins by only 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. At the pool room, it appeared that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. So we pursued him just behind him, but never catching him for an hour till it was past 1 o'clock. I was hungry, but I had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinion about his neighbors that I scarcely cared whether I found Lutkins or not. So here, next, they went to Gustav's shop. Here also Bill went inside the shop first and the clerk waited him outside. They had to face the anger of the hairdresser because Lutkins had not paid $35. But one of the customers told them that he had seen Lutkins in the main street near the hotel. When they were about to climb the back hack again, Bill guessed that Lutkin may have gone to Gray's shop at his credit limit with Gustav's has ended. But when they reached Gray's shop, they came to know that Lutkins left the place just 5 minutes ago. They decided to visit the pool room. Someone told them that he had left after buying a cigarette. Right? And now, here, how about something to eat? I suggested. Let's go to a restaurant and I will buy you lunch. Well, I ought to go home to the wife. I don't care much for these restaurants. Only 4 of them and they are all bad. Tell you what we will do. We will get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. She won't charge you more. Right? She won't than $50 and it would cost you more from a greasy meal in a restaurant, and we will go up to Waits Hill and enjoy the view while we eat. Right? So, the clerk asked Bill about having lunch. He offered to buy lunch for both of them from restaurant. Bill replied that there were only 4 restaurants and none of them were good. He said that he would get food from his wife. Bill also suggested the clerk to buy a food parcel from his wife as he had to pay only $50, which was far less than the price of the restaurant's meal, which was oily and non-tasty. He also suggested that they both go up and Waits Hill, which was a nice place to view while they had their lunch. So students, through this we have covered first part of this lesson, the hack driver. Second part we will cover in tomorrow's video. So dear students, we will meet there. Up to the time, thank you. Have a nice day.